Zachary Taylor, USA. July 4th, 1850, Washington, D.C. It's brutally hot. President Zachary Taylor is outside for hours at a ceremony. Afterward, he eats a bowl of cherries, then cold milk. Within hours, his stomach turns. Cramping, nausea, fever. Doctors call it cholera morbus. He's dead 5 days later. Case closed for over 100 years. Then a theory surfaces. Some historians suspect arsenic. Taylor opposed slavery's expansion. Southern politicians wanted him gone. Poison fit the motive. In 1991, his body is exhumed. Testing begins. The result? Arsenic levels are normal, no poisoning. So what killed him? Likely the cherries and milk themselves. Washington in 1850 had opened sewers near the water supply. Bacteria in his food probably triggered severe gastroenteritis. A president killed by a snack in the summer heat, 9 months into his term. Cause of death still debated. Félix Faure, France. Paris, February 16, 1899. President Félix Faure is in his office. He's not alone. His mistress, Marguerite Steinheil, is with him. Staff hear a cry from behind the door. Then silence. They break in. Faure is unconscious. Steinheil is gone. A priest is rushed in for last rites. He arrives to find the president already dead. Cerebral hemorrhage. Officially, a stroke. Unofficially, Paris knows exactly what happened. Steinheil later gets a nickname, La Pompe Funèbre, the funeral pump. Parisians weren't being subtle about it. Faure had been president for 4 years. Popular, ambitious, healthy. He died at 58 mid-scandal in his own palace. Steinheil herself later gets tangled in a separate murder case. Her husband and mother are found strangled in 1908. She's tried and acquitted. The president's death stays infamous. Álvaro Obregón, Mexico. This death happens in front of an audience. Mexico City, July 17, 1928. Álvaro Obregón just won re-election. He's celebrating at a restaurant called La Bombilla. A young artist approaches, offering to sketch the guests. His name is José de León Toral. He sits near Obregón. He shows Obregón a caricature. Obregón leans in to look. Toral pulls a pistol from behind the drawing. Fires point blank. 5 shots. Obregón is dead before help arrives. Toral is a religious extremist tied to the Cristero War. Obregón had enforced strict anti-clerical laws as president. Toral believed killing him would stop the persecution of the church. He's caught immediately, tried and executed by firing squad. A nun connected to the plot, Madre Conchita, gets 20 years. Obregón had survived an assassination attempt years earlier too. He'd already lost an arm in battle during the revolution. This time, a sketch artist finished what bullets in war couldn't. Gabriel García Moreno, Ecuador. This president dies by machete, steps from his office. Quito, August 6, 1875. President Gabriel García Moreno is walking. He's heading to Mass just meters from the presidential palace. A group of men rush him from the crowd. One slashes him across the back with a machete. He's struck again and again. He falls on the palace steps. A revolver finishes it. He dies within minutes. García Moreno had ruled Ecuador for over a decade, on and off. He tied the government tightly to the Catholic Church. Critics called him a dictator hiding behind religion. The attackers were led by a man named Faustino Rayo. Rayo escapes to Colombia. He's never formally punished. García Moreno's body lies where he fell for hours. A president who prayed daily cut down on his way to church. Villebrun Guillaume Sam, Haiti. This death starts with a massacre, ends with a mob. Port-au-Prince, July 1915. President Villebrun Guillaume Sam is desperate. Rebels are closing in on the capital. His rule is collapsing. He orders the execution of roughly 167 political prisoners. The killings happen inside the national prison in a single night. Word spreads through the city within hours. A furious crowd gathers outside the French embassy where Sam hid. The mob breaks through the gate and drags him outside. He's beaten to death in the street. His body is then dismembered by the mob. Parts of it are paraded through Port-au-Prince as a warning. He'd been president for less than 5 months. Within days, U.S. Marines land and occupy Haiti. The occupation lasts 19 years. One massacre, one mob, one occupation that reshaped a country. Park Chung-hee, South Korea. This president is shot by his own spy chief over dinner. Seoul, October 26, 1979. President Park Chung-hee is having a private dinner. His host is Kim Jae-gyu, the head of Korean intelligence. Kim has been humiliated by Park in front of others for weeks. That night, an argument breaks out at the table. Kim pulls a pistol from his jacket, fires at Park's bodyguard first. Then he shoots Park directly across the table. Park dies almost instantly. He'd ruled Korea for 18 years. Kim calmly walks out and tries to seize control of the military. It fails within hours. He's arrested by his own agency's rivals. He's tried, convicted, and hanged the following year. To this day, Kim's motive is debated: rivalry, ambition, or reform. Ahmed Abdallah, Comoros. This president is killed in his own bed by his own guard. Moroni, November 26, 1989. President Ahmed Abdallah is asleep in the palace. His personal security is run by a French mercenary, Bob Denard. Denard's men have effectively run the country's army for years. That night, someone fires a rocket-propelled grenade into the bedroom. Abdallah is killed instantly in his own bed. Denard claims he wasn't involved. Few in Comoros believe him. France flies in troops days later and removes the mercenaries. Denard is tried in France decades later. The bedroom case stays open. Gualberto Villarroel, Bolivia. This president is thrown from a balcony, then hanged from a lamppost. La Paz, July 21st, 1946. A crowd storms the presidential palace. President Gualberto Villarroel tries to negotiate from a balcony. The crowd doesn't stop. They break through and reach him. He's thrown from the balcony to the plaza below. The mob drags his body to a lamppost in the square. He's hanged from it on public display for hours. Villarroel had backed labor reforms and angered the old elite. Decades later, the lamppost still stands. Bolivians call it a symbol. José Antonio Ramón, Panama. This president is gunned down at a horse race. Panama City, January 2nd, 1955. President José Antonio Ramón is at the track. He's watching from the presidential box with his wife. Gunmen open fire from a nearby car, spraying the box. Ramón is hit multiple times. He dies within the hour. His wife survives, wounded, but alive. The assassins are never conclusively identified. Suspicion falls on rivals within his own police-based government,